How's it going, everyone? My name is Sinikle, and welcome back to yet another Umineko no Naku Koro ni. We're still within episode 7, Requiem of the Golden Witch. And if you want to get caught up, as always, in the description below, there is a link to the playlist, as well as a link to my Patreon, which is on hold for a month. So, hopefully you'll join in during that hold. I mean, basically free of charge, right? And there's a link to my Twitter if you want future updates on my channel or what's going on with my health and future hiatuses or whatever. That is the place to go to. But without further ado, let me just go ahead and begin from where we last left off. Where were we at? Okay.
イタリア人たちはこの黄金のことを本土へ報告しないことを望んでいます。
Of course they don't.
我が国に横領されたくないからであろうな。
彼は何と？
日本が黄金を横領するのを恐れているから報告されたくないのだろうと言っている。
少尉はむしろイタリア本国に知られることを恐れているわ。私たちにとって今の祖国は連合国の傀儡政権。彼らに知られれば黄金は返還することになる。しかしそれは私たちの敵に黄金を渡すようなもの。
They'd come all this way to make sure that the gold didn't fall into enemy hands. They needed to hide it from that puppet government until their homeland could be truly restored.
後ろ宮、イタリア人たちに提案せよ。我々は協力を申し出たいとな。
協力とは？
イタリア人たちの言い分はこうであろう。彼らはその黄金を祖国に知られることなく隠したいわけだ。しかし、この島から運び出そうとすれば、輸送船を手配せねばならなくなる。そうすれば本土に知られ、さらにはイタリア本国にも知られることとなる。
そうなります。つまりあの黄金はもうロッケン島からは運び出せない。
Their mission must have been to hide the gold in absolute secrecy until the day of their homeland's restoration. Later on, several plausible rumors would circulate about how Nazi Germany also moved much of its secret wealth to certain hidden areas in South America just prior to its collapse. It was a very natural conclusion to reach. That a submarine was their only method of transporting the gold in secrecy, and it's become completely useless. They can't fully stop the water from seeping in, and it will probably sink completely before much longer. There's no longer any way for them to transport the gold in secrecy. In other words, their mission has ended in failure here in the Far East. So, just how is Lieutenant Yamamoto proposing that we assist them? By keeping it here? Top secret? Yeah, okay, so they are gonna just keep it here, right?
近隣の島民たちはこの島を不吉な無人島と信じて近寄りもしない。言っている意味がわかるか、後ろ宮。
Why? Okay. During these certain talks, why is there always a catch my drift? Oh my god, such douchery. Alright.
彼は何と？
前にも話した通り、このロッケン島基地は誰にも知られていない。見ての通り、戦略価値は何もなく、上層部にもすでに忘れられてる。注意は、この島に黄金を隠してはどうかと提案したいみたいだ。
Beatrice quickly translated this and told Lieutenant Angelo. He began discussing something rapidly with his subordinates. You do that. They didn't look happy at all. I wonder why. Japan may have been their ally, but they probably didn't want to leave the gold for reconstructing their motherland in Asian hands. Still, it was hard to imagine any other option for them. Good luck swimming with all that gold.
他に手はないという者もいるし、それでも祖国に忠誠を尽くすべきだという者もいる。少尉は板挟みになってるわ。
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. The final order given to them by their fallen homeland was to hide the gold. And what a perfect place. Why you bitchin'? However, by now there was no way for that order to be carried out successfully. Well, duh, it's already failed. I mean, it literally just a few lines ago said the mission was a failure. I mean, yeah. If their mainland or their own homeland found out, the gold would probably be confiscated by the wrong people, from their point of view. If they really wanted to carry out their homeland's orders faithfully, Lieutenant Yamamoto's proposal was extremely reasonable. Though he couldn't understand their words, he seemed to realize how divided they were.
我々が協力すれば、あの黄金を厳重に隠すことができるぞ。幸いなことに、廃棄された地下壕が長々とこの島の地下を横断している。
この島の地下に黄金を隠して埋めれば、誰にも発見できないと言ってる。
現実的な申し出だと議論してるわ。でも日本人の手を借りるのに抵抗を感じてるみたい。
Then get the fuck off the island. Bye bye. Oh wait, yeah, I can't. Suckers!
議論が難航しているようです。
議論の余地などあるのか、イタリア人。
Exactly. They actually don't. It's funny to see that they keep trying to make up other choices, but they no.
我々の協力なく
No.
あの黄金は隠せんぞ。まさかいつまでも波打ち際に積み上げておくわけにもいくまい。
アンジェロ少尉は黄金のことを知る人間を最小で抑えたいみたい。日本人は信用できないけど、山本中尉の申し出が今は最善と見てるみたいよ。
Isn't that too late? I mean, there was a whole display about, getting the gold out of the submarine. A lot of people were there already, so everyone basically already knows. Hello? And there's a thing called gossip. People gossip. Don't ask what that was, please.
でもいぶかしがってるわ。
And he has the right to be suspicious, but at the same time, there's no choice.
何を
About us, duh.
10トンの黄金を隠すという労力の提供と守秘義務を彼らが本当に無償で提供してくれるのかとね。
Yeah, I think we'll take 100%. Bam, 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 bam. Pew, pew, pew.
五分。
Oh, well, I think that 50 is going to turn into 100 real quick at some point. You catch my drift?
注意、それはまさか。
あの黄金の半分を我々によこせ。それを手間賃に残りの半分を厳重に隠してやろう。
半分をよこせと言ってる。
The instant Beatrice translated that sentence. Oh boy. Lieutenant Angelo slammed his hands on the desk and stood up. Instead of flinching, Lieutenant Yamamoto, true to his boasts of once being a thug who everyone feared, actually looked even more relaxed and confident than he had previously.
本来なら断りようのない話だ。
Oh my god.
8割を要求してもおかしくない。それを敬意を表して五分と五分にしようと提案しているのだ。これは我々だけに有意な話ではない。イタリア人たちが外部にこのことを漏らせば、すべての黄金は日本かイタリアに接収さ
Wait,
れ
I'm
る。
confused. Is it continuing the line? You know what? I think it...
我々に
Yeah,
は
okay,
一
it is.
円たりとも転がり込んでこない。
Oh, god damn it.
我々は
You know, I'm just
全
used
員
to
が共犯でなくては
the
なら
beginning
ない。
of a quote there. Anyway, what? Quotations.
全員に着服の共犯になれと言ってる。周囲はすでに軍人としてでなく個人として話をしている。
Yes, yeah, he quit being a lieutenant a long time ago. Once that gold showed up in his eyeballs, oh yeah, ka-ching. Okay, that was the sound effect of, you know, the dollar signs in his eyes, like a cartoon. Anyway, what?
なんてこと。
Yeah, he's a little snake in the glass.
黄金に目がくらんだのね。
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think he's a lieutenant anymore, just saying. But anyway, Yamamoto was grinning. It really did look as though he had been blinded by greed, just as Beatrice has said.
あのまま山積みにしていれば、やがて本土から来る向かいの連中の目にいやおうなく入るだろう。そうなれば、ここにいる誰もが得をしないぞ。我々の申し出を受けて、早急に黄金を隠すべきだ。
アンジェロ少尉は日本政府やイタリア政府にはどうしても知られたくないみたい。彼は自分が与えられた任務に最後まで責任を持ちたいみたいよ。
つまりどういうことだ。
何割かを口止め料として与えてでも島内に地中深く埋めることを望んでるわ。もちろん下士官たちには異論もあるみたい。5割は問題外だと憤慨してるわ。
後宮、イタリア人たちの感触はどうだ。
彼らも黄金がこれ以上の人目につくことを望んでいないようです。しかし取り分に異論があるようです。
少尉は1割ならば検討できると言ってるわ。
Okay. Really now?
無論山本中尉がそれで納得しないだろうとも言ってる。
Just 1 ton of the whole 10 ton of gold, eh?
後宮、イタリア人の返事はいかに。
1割なら検討すると。
This time it was Lieutenant Yamamoto who slammed down on the desk. But the Italians didn't flinch either. An incredible tension filled the small room. However, despite his violent outburst a second ago, Lieutenant Yamamoto's expression still looked smug and in control. He was probably confident that he now had the initiative.
1割 ?1 割か。いいだろう。なら1割を譲ってやろう。
40-60 now, eh?
四分六だ。これ以上は譲らんと伝えろ。
40% for the Japanese, 60% for the Italians. The lieutenant was talking tough, but in truth, these negotiations weren't being made on an actual footing. If the Italians had just wanted the gold for themselves, there wouldn't have been much of a problem. But what if? What if they were true patriots, and decided to return the gold for the purpose of reconstruction, even to the defeated puppet government of their homeland? If so, they would probably report the existence of the gold to the Italian embassy. Eventually, the Italian government would petition the Allied nations for the retrieval of their gold. It probably wouldn't all make it back to Italy, but it might be used effectively to repair and rebuild their battered towns. If that happened, Lieutenant Yamamoto and his friends would only be able to sneak out a few ingots, at most. He was greedily planning to make this his own treasure island, so that he and his subordinates could have an enormous fortune all to themselves. If he wanted to succeed, the Italians would have to keep the presence of the gold quiet.
しかし疑問だ。アンジェロ少尉が誰にも黄金を渡したくないなら、沈みゆく潜水艦に任せて沈めればよかったはず。どうして荷揚げを？
考えたくはないけれど、命令が遂行不能になった時点で少尉はこの黄金を横領することを考え始めたのかも。彼は今下士官たちに軍人としての意見と祖国に家族が待つ一個人としての意見を聞きたいと言っているわ。
I got 2 kids coming in the way. Fuck off, I need that money. I'm not gonna die for this war.
堅物の
Blah
下士
blah
官
blah
たち
blah blah blah
が
blah
抵
blah
抗して
blah.
る。
The discussion between the Italians was becoming fierce and emotional. Though their homeland had fallen, they had come all this way in accordance with its orders. They had probably been given this mission because they were particularly faithful and duty-minded troops. It seemed they couldn't just agree to a foreigner's proposal to embezzle and split up the gold. Lieutenant Angelo looked like he was doing all he could to calm the unexpectedly fervent rage of his subordinates. Looks like the gold is blinding them too. Damn, everybody be greedy. Everyone's mixing up their true feelings with how they want to be seen, and they can't make up their minds.
奴らの返答はいかに？
Shut up.
後ろ宮。
ビーチェ、
All bark.
周囲が返事を求めてる。
考える時間が欲しいと言ってるわ。私はあなたと話せたから気が紛れてよかったけれど、他の人たちはそうじゃないの。とても長い後悔の果てに大勢の仲間を失って極限状態でここにいるわ。唯一の心の拠り所だった任務ももはや喪失してる。どうすればいいのか彼らも分かってないの。
注意、彼らは時間が欲しいと言っています。
いいとも、大いに議論したらいい。しかし時間はないぞ。隠すとなったら時間と手間がかかる。明日の正午までに結論しろ。以上だ、イタリア人ども。
回答期限は明日の正午だそうだ。周囲め、まるで脅迫だ。
少尉は全員の意見を聞くと言ってるわ。
感触は？
多分難航するわ。少尉自身は山分けもあり得ると考えているみたいだけど、下士官や他の仲間たちは多分反対するわ。みんなこの極東までの航海で大切な仲間を大勢失ってる。彼らは堅くなに祖国への忠誠を貫きたがってる。
周囲の申し出は断ると？
断ってもどうせ黄金は誰かの手に渡るわ。何も残らないならせめてインゴットの一本ずつでも密かに持ち帰ろうという少尉の言い分に同調者も出そうだけど、こういう時の男って勢いだけが迷走するわ。私も見当がつかない。 イタリア人たちの胸中は複雑でしょうね。
彼らにとって降伏後のイタリアは敵国同然だろう。黄金をそのイタリアに返還するのは彼らの長い旅路を全て否定するのと同じだ。
しかし黄金を着服して山分けすることも彼らの旅路の否定になります。
彼らが義理立てすべき祖国はすでに滅んでいる。その時点で彼らの旅路の意味などもう失われている。気の毒な話だ。
どうせ意味のないことならインゴットの一本でもありつけた方がまだマシだと。
損得感情で言えばそうなる。そうならねえのが男ってもんだがな。
The Italians were gathered in a cramped room, arguing fiercely.
反対です。死んだ戦友たちのためにも断固軍人魂を貫くべきです。
貫くとはどういうことか。この島に黄金を隠せということか。東洋人たちの申し出を受けるということか。
東洋人たちは信用できません。特にあの山本という男、断じて油断できません。
黄金を荷上げして日本人たちに見られたのはやはり失敗でした。
Yeah, it was.
艦と共に沈めるべきでした。
日本人の基地で沈めてどうする。やがていつかは引き上げられる。隠したことにはならない。いずれにせ
How
よ
do you know?
この島から黄金を誰にも知られずに運び出す方法はない。
洋上で名誉ある自鎮を選んでいたらこんなことには。
艦のダメージが致命的だったことがあの時点で分かっていたら、どうしてあの時少佐は日本軍に救援要請を。日本軍にこの黄金のことを知られたら少佐はどう任務を遂行するつもりだったんだ。
少佐が救援要請を出した時点で我々の任務はもう失敗していたんだ。諸君にも祖国で待つ家族がいるはずだ。そして極東の島国までよく航海に耐えた。それに対するこれは正当な報酬なのだという考え方もある。
あの時日本人に助け
死んだ親友たちが浮かばれてこんな目に。
少尉、日本人が友好的でない場合、我々は最終的解決手段を辞さない覚悟が必
Here
要
we
です。
go. The talk about extreme measures, aka let's just shoot them and take over the island. Right? And what do you mean by extreme measures, Corporal?
最終的解決手段とは何か。
That's actually the first time it's ever happened to me. Holy shit. I thought it was me that was supposed to read that. Oh shit, well, alright, excuse the fuck out of me. That's actually the first time for this series, Umineko, that's happened to me. God damn. It's happened to me plenty of times in Danganronpa. Anyway, someone gulped. A stiff tension hung over the room.
日本人たちはたるみ切っています。実戦経験もない腰抜けばかりです。我々は精兵です。すでに基地内の間取りのほぼ全てと日本人の人数、配置状況は把握しています。
Okay, if you go and claim that you yourself are elite, then you're sadly mistaken. Okay, no one who is elite claims themselves to be elite, alright? That's just douchery 101.
少尉の命令があれば短時間で制圧できるでしょう。戦闘員と思わしきは山本を含めて数人程度。残りは軍属の作業員風情です。上辺の人数は日本人が上ですが、実質兵力ではこちらが優位です。
日本人を殺せば迎えの船が来
And
た
there it
時、
is.
それをどう説明する。ごまかしようがないぞ。
死体さえ見つからなければどうとでもごまかせます。少尉、この基地を制圧するのは容易です。山本以下主要な兵士数人を殺してみせればあっさりと作業員たちは降伏するでしょう。彼らに黄金を運ばせ地中に埋めましょう。もちろん彼らの口は永遠に塞ぎますが、
日本人たちを皆殺しにするということか。
殺しましょう。全員殺せば黄金のことは誰にも知られずに済むのです。
And more importantly, we get all the gold instead of just half. Okay. We get the bigger cut. At that moment, the supposedly locked door opened slightly. Oh, well, you gone fucked up, boys. And a metal object was thrown in. Oh, bitch, you to it, bitches. Alright. Grenade.
Granada!
Or, yeah, that. As the yell ran out, the table was kicked over to be used as a shield, and they all dropped to the floor. However, in this cramped room, it probably wouldn't do them any good. No, it would not, sir. The Italians were all prepared for death. Oh shit, how unlucky is that? It's a dud. Fortunately, the shoddy grenade was a dud. The door was slammed open and 3 Japanese soldiers wielding pistols jumped in. Oh my god! What I fucking called out earlier is actually happening. Oh, look at that. Who could have predicted that? Oh, me, I did. I'm raising my hand. Help. Okay. I'm a fucking moron. Okay. In this small room, no matter who shot where, it was bound to hit someone. Yes. The exchange of bullets instantly caused a rain of blood, with casualties on both sides. The 3 who had jumped in were covered with bullet holes and fell over, moaning and thrashing. Oh yeah. Moaning and thrashing. Oh. Oh, well, that's a okay, never mind. Nope. I should not say anything. I wasn't gonna say anything. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, boy. True that. The grenade was still rolling about on the floor. It had been a surprise attack. Lieutenant Yamamoto had probably judged that the negotiations wouldn't go his way and had decided to make the first move. Or maybe he'd been planning from the beginning to put them in a position where they'd be gathered in one place to discuss his offer. Whew. Rokkenjima was their island. If they killed all the Italians, then not half, but all of the gold would be going to the Japanese. There was a chance the grenade might go off late. The Italians rushed out into the corridor. Smart. It might actually not be a total dud. They heard gunfire from down the hallway. It was coming from the direction of the submarine dock. Clearly the troops guarding the pile of gold were being attacked. Oh my goodness gracious! Well, duh. Hire your best men to guard something that's valuable, right? Hello? Oh, damn! Manhunt. Deadliest sport. Okay, that flashing is not helping my eyesight, thank you. Fuck, I'm gonna have to put a warning before that. Eesh. As soon as I heard the sound of repeated gunfire, I knew. I knew that something, which had been smoldering since the time the gold was unloaded, had finally burst. The eyes of our soldiers looking at that gold hadn't been normal. Yes, those eyes had been entranced by demons. The Italians had been pushed to the limits by the heavy burden they bore. Who wouldn't have snapped after being trapped in a distant land, where you can't understand the language or the writing? Thinking I had to do something, I ran towards the sound of gunfire. Looking back on it, that was an extremely stupid thing to do. Yeah, usually you run the opposite direction of the gunfire, but anywho. That sound meant that there were people shooting at each other. People killing each other. And yet, unarmed as I was, I dashed towards the sound as though I was trying to mediate some schoolyard fight. Well, that was stupid. It didn't take long before I learned how foolish and naive that was in the heat of the battle. Warrant Officer Hiraoko, I butchered that so hard, was lying face down, his entire body drenched in blood. Judging by the trail of blood behind him, it was clear that he had somehow managed to crawl here from a different room before dying. Well, that sucks for him. No, he was still he's still alive, okay. He might not be dead yet. Oh, well. But on this island, without a doctor. No, even if we had a doctor. Who could possibly save a man who had been shot this many times in the chest? Oh yeah, he's a gunner. When I looked into the room he must have crawled out of, I saw 2 more blood-stained Japanese corpses. Oh my god, they're dead. I fell backwards pathetically on my butt. My hiney! My mouth hanging open in shock. Come to think of it, that was the first time I had ever faced a death in my life. The entire world was at war, even though millions were dying both east and west. This was the first time I'd met with a person's death directly in front of me. Ridiculous. Didn't I join the army hoping to die? Didn't I whine about not being sent to the front lines? Yeah, so rejoice, Kinzo. Isn't this the death you were looking for? Why not spread your hands and yell out loud, "Shoot me, baby! Come for me, magnificent death!" Oh. Shoot me in a dick. What? Anywho, someone came running towards me. It was a colleague of mine, a Japanese man. Tajima-kun. And this is where he gets shot. He dashed towards me, pale-faced and out of breath. His face seemed horribly contorted with terror. Mine probably looked the same.
Tajima-kun,
And I was right. Someone yelled in Italian, and at the same time Tajima-kun let out a scream. Then he grabbed onto me as he fell to the floor. A red stain was spreading across his back before my eyes. As he spat bubbles of blood, he said that one word and died. But the shock of seeing someone die right in front of me did not freeze my heart. At a fundamental level, all living things are unconcerned with the deaths of others. The one thing that matters is whether they themselves die or not. It was a barrel of a gun the Italian soldier was pointing that froze my heart. Tajima-kun's back burst once more as he leaned against me. Damn. Flesh tore, blood splattered. The warm splash of it covered my face. Was the Italian still trying to finish him off, even though he had stopped moving for good? How foolish I've been. Could I still not understand the scene in front of me? Rejoice, Kinzo! Now you'll finally get what you've wanted all this time. The Italian hadn't fired to finish off Tajima-kun. He had been aiming at the man Tajima-kun had fallen on. Me, Ushiromiya Kinzo. Well, then his aiming sucks. Get good, bitch. I pushed his corpse aside, scrabbled against the floor, and dashed away, tumbling over myself. My hands had pushed off against the floor hard enough to tear off the ring-fingered fingernail. Ooh, damn! That's gotta hurt. On my left hand. When faced with death, humans truly can resist with all they've got. I tumbled over and over as I ran, scraping up parts of my body. It was painful, hot, but that didn't matter at all. I heard the yelling in Italian come from behind me over and over again. It felt like they were running, chasing after me. I didn't want to look back, so I kept on running and running, as though the Italians were right behind me. This is death. Didn't you want to die? No, I don't want to die. Why? Didn't I want to die so badly? But now I know. I know how wonderful it is to be alive. She taught me. I'm not gonna say it. Beto did. That's right, I'm sticking to Beto. Fight me if you disagree. Come on, put up those fists. 1, 2. Psh, psh. Okay. I can only be free when I talk with her. No. By talking with her, I finally come alive. Came alive. Phrasing. For the first time. Shit. I was born. I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. I don't want to die. I want to live and see her right now. If I don't see her, I'll die. I'll be killed. Stay cool, Kinzo. She might be killed too. If you live and she dies, you might as well be dead. Before I knew it, my face was covered in tears, snot and saliva. Damn! Nasty boy. When I stumbled into something and fell, I was finally able to come to my senses a little. I could still hear intermittent gunfire. The gunfight was still going on. Well, the guy gave up. Wait, what? There was someone chasing you. What happened to that guy? Alright, whatever, I guess he gave up. And it had spread throughout the entire base. Beto, are you okay? I'll find her and take her to a safe place. The lieutenant will probably kill all the Italians to steal the gold. Beto probably won't be an exception.
Beach.
Beach. I lived for the first time after meeting you. I was born, so if you die, I'll die again. I could feel every cell in my body being reborn, not as Ushiromiya Kinzo, but as a completely different Kinzo. Of course, I was terrified that I might really be shot if I went back, but I didn't want to die anymore, to truly die, so I was able to overcome my fear. She arrives and says, "Stop your willy whacking, you little shite." Not exactly like that, but anyway.
ルーベス、一体何が起こってるの？この騒ぎは何？
君が知らなくていい。そこにじっと隠れてよ。同胞が呼びかけるまで出てくるんじゃない。
イタリア人の声が聞こえた。そこにいるぞ。
くそ、誰東洋人め。
Hey, 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 hey. There will be none of that, especially in the game. God damn it, please. Maybe I should blur that out. That was, anyway. Rupert stood with Beatrice behind his back and neatly shot the two men rushing at him with 2 9mm bullets from his Beretta 9, not 9. There's a 9 in there. You know what? Shut the fuck up. M1934. Fuck off. Oh, shit. However, I'm dyslexic. Shut up. However, one of the 8mm bullets from their Type 94 semi-auto pistols went straight into Ruben's chest. All 3 of the shooters were struck in the chest and fell down in a heap.
しっかりして、ルーベス。
地上へ逃げろ。森の中へ隠れ。
Welp.
おやおや、賑やかではないか。
The next person to appear was the commanding officer of the Japanese soldiers, Yamamoto, the douchebaggery. The blast of 3 guns had just sounded. Adding on Beatrice's screams, it was hardly surprising that he had noticed the encounter.
こんなことなら最初からこの女を人質に取ればよかった。くそいまいましい連中だ。
Meow. I don't know why I made that noise. I'm sorry. Beatrice used that moment to snatch up Rubens's gun.
躊躇なく銃を拾おうとするとは、イタリア女は実に物騒だ。
That's right, you little bitch.
くそ、二人がかりでしくじりやがって。
Excuse me. He spatted this last part at the two dying men who lay moaning at his feet. However, what had happened to them wasn't particularly surprising. It wasn't the first time it had happened either. In this tiny, cramped tunnel, nearly everyone had met head-on. When both sides shot recklessly in such a situation, the result was two corpses. So, whoever sensed another person and pulled the trigger quickest won. Oh my god, kind of like a duel. My goodness gracious. That was the only way to survive this battle without a bullet in your chest. Because of this, both the Japanese and Italians had killed each other without hesitation, and they sometimes even pulled the trigger on oncoming allies. What the fuck? In the midst of all this were several Japanese men who had stumbled into the fight, wondering what was going on. It didn't matter whether the other person was holding a gun or not. Everyone had reflexively pulled the trigger at the sight of anyone other than themselves trying to stay alive. The entire base had been wrapped up in this slaughter. Oh my goodness gracious. Even my allies are trying to kill me. There was a fierce gun battle taking place on the submarine dock. Still, Jesus Christ. And a massacre resembling a hunt was taking place inside the base. Okay. Oh my god, what the? Most of the non-combatants assigned to this base were killed before they knew what was going on. How rude. The Italians were indeed quite seasoned troops, but their numbers began to drop bit by bit. Blood-stained corpses were scattered everywhere. At first, it had probably been a proper gunfight. However, as their minds began to grow weary and numb, it devolved into that most basic cause of wars throughout humanity, the desire to kill all foreigners you don't understand. Whenever they heard words they didn't understand, they pulled the trigger. By that point, the screams of foreigners sounded no different from those of man-shaped beasts. After all, they couldn't understand pleading in another language. So it had long ago turned into a mere massacre. As the number of dead surpassed the number of living, silence began to return to the base. Just when it felt as though everyone had died, and you could hear the desolate sound of the wind blowing through the caves, there would be a sudden scream, the crisp sound of a gun, and you'd remember that the massacre wasn't just yet over. This happened over and over again. And eventually, true silence fell. It marked the pitiful end of those led astray by gold. Greedy bastards. Greed is a sin, you know. And sin is just so sweet. The leader of the Italian soldiers, Angelo, had managed to survive somehow. He encountered nothing but the corpses of friends and foes. All was quiet once more in the base. If he was careless enough to call out, he might be shot from the shadows somewhere. So he snuck about like a panther. Like a panther? Alright. Breathing quietly and searching for remaining enemies. There was no sign or trace of any living person. Maybe all the people in this base had died. The Japanese struck first, but at the same time we were also talking about killing them. They simply made the first move as military men. So perhaps we should be grateful for this day. Even if the boat had come to pick us up, there would have been no honor left for us. We would have been mere failures in our mission, unfit to face our dead comrades. Perhaps dying here in the Far East alongside my gun is a more fitting end for a soldier. I noticed the sound of shuffling feet coming from around the corner and strained to hear. Is someone seriously wounded and dragging their feet? Noticing them before they notice me greatly helps my chances. At this stage, there's no point in taking prisoners. We must dispose of all the Japanese. I'll dash around the corner, quickly check to see who they are, and shoot if it's a Japanese person. Nothing more. I've been hiding my footsteps the whole time. They probably don't know I'm here. Once the shuffling footsteps had come to close enough, Angelo leaned around the corner and raised his gun. The voice that reached him spoke Italian.
貴様を探していたぞ、アンジェロ少尉。これで全員だな。俺はしっかり貴様らの死体を数えて回ってたんだからな。
しっかりして、アンジェロ少尉。
Blood poured from Angelo's chest. His gun fell to the floor, then his knees, and then the rest of his body crumbled down and stopped moving. Yamamoto's accuracy with the gun wasn't particularly stellar. However, Angelo had waited until they were fairly close before jumping out, so Yamamoto had made the shot. He had managed to hit, even with a short-barreled handgun in one hand, and a woman as a hostage in the other.
それにしても我が六軒島守備隊の情けないことよ。まさか私以外は全員死んだのではあるまいな。やれやれクズども。
女を盾に取らなきゃ戦えない人手だし。
Apparently not. He is a fucking coward.
話して。
静かにしろ。イタリア女は実に騒がしい。
Hey.
おとなしくしてれば命までは取らんというのに。
It was such an obvious lie that even he wore a bitter smile. The Italians were spies working for the enemy, and they all died along with the garrison in the gunfight. Since this was a story Yamamoto wanted to tell, he couldn't afford to have any Italian survivors. By this point, he wouldn't be able to keep the entire pile of gold, but he should be able to grab as many as he could carry. Even that would be worth a huge amount of money. Beatrice suddenly swung her head, smashing Yamamoto's nose hard. Oh my god, how dare you! She almost managed to escape. However, Yamamoto quickly grabbed her leg and tripped her. She fell onto her back, and Yamamoto mercilessly stomped his foot down on her stomach and pointed his gun at her. God damn. What the brute? Wait, what the fuck? Kinzo had jumped out from the shadows. He was holding a gun he had stolen from one of the corpses.
Ushiromiyaか。ほう、生きておったか。
彼女を離せ。苦しがってる。
貴様であろう。イタリア人どもに攻撃があることを密告したのは。
What?
何の話だ？
Yeah, what the fuck is he talking about? Is he a dumbass? Yamamoto didn't know that the grenade had been a dud. He had been sure that the surprise attack would work, but it hadn't. So he had assumed that Kinzo must have tipped them off. Oh, he's a fucking moron.
貴様がこのイタリア女を通じて内通していたことはお見通しよ。
あなたが黄金に目がくらんだからこの事態を招いたのではないのか。
逃げて金蔵。この男は命乞いしてる人も撃ったわ。あなたも撃たれる。
喋るなイタリア女。もう一度口を聞いたら容赦なく撃つぞ。
Yamamoto ground his heel into Beatrice's gut.
よせ、やめろ。彼女は何の関係もない。
ああ、銃を上官に向けるとはどういうつもりか。頭を冷やせよ愚か者め。私とお前で口裏を合わせればあの黄金の山は私たちだけのものではないか。私一人では少々をくすねるくらいしかできんが、お前と二人でならもっと多くの数をくすねることができる。上官面をするつもりはないぞ。男同士二人できっちり山分けしようじゃないか。
Okay, so you tried to pull rank with the whole "don't point a gun at your superior officer," but now you're not pulling rank when talking about splitting up the gold. What's the sense in that? Don't bring up rank and that kind of fucking bullshit. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm gonna kick your ass, boy.
Ushiromiya. どうやら貴様は黄金より鉛の方がお好みらしいな。
Clever. Without any hesitation, Yamamoto raised the barrel of his gun towards Kinzo and pulled the trigger. It grazed Kinzo's right ear. If Yamamoto's aim had been just a bit better, the bullet would have slammed into Kinzo's face. Wouldn't that have been a sight? My lord.
Kinzo! 貴様!
Not letting Yamamoto's momentary distraction go to waste, Beatrice lashed out and planted her right foot in Yamamoto's crotch. Oh, not the berries, man. Not the berries. Ah! Not the man berries. Oh, that even hurts me. Fuck. Son of a bitch. After moaning in pain, yeah, a demonic expression flashed across Yamamoto's face, and he stomped on her chest. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. You done? Okay, great. Beatrice... Okay. Beatrice shut her eyes tightly, hoping that she could withstand the coming pain. No one wants to watch the moment they get shot. But it wasn't her that got shot. It was... Guess who? Who lives into not to tell the tale? What? I don't know. I fucked it up. No. Yeah. Drip. Okay.
あんたがあんたの都合で大勢の命を奪ったように、私も私の都合で。
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, Kinzo, you manly of man.
奪う。
Could Yamamoto hear Kinzo's words until the end? In his last moments, he seemed to grin. Then, slowly, he fell backwards with a spurt of blood. Hello? Okay. That was a little delayed. Alright. Alright.
無事なの？てっきりあなたが撃たれたと。あ、
Beatrice tried to stand up, but then doubled over and started coughing. Damn, she's making me cough now. Son of a bitch.
怪我をしたのか？
あばらが痛むわ。
Yeah, no shit.
その人でなしが激しく踏んだものだから。
Don't worry. You're fine. At least you will be.
折れていなければいいんだが。
これくらいで折れるほどイタリア女はやわじゃないの。
Hell yeah.
でもありがとう。あなたは命の恩人だわ。あなたが来なければ私はきっとそこに転がっていたわ。
Yamamoto had shown no mercy. Her ribs were probably cracked. We didn't have the option of waiting, possibly for several days, for the ship that was coming. I made the decision to carry her away from the island. Wait, what? Carry her away from the island, but you guys said there's no boats, right? Okay, whatever. The man who kept yelling about preserving the secrecy of the base is lying. They're dead. The next island over, Rokkenjima, is close. A small boat should be more than enough to get us there.
君を病院へ運ばなければならない。君が思っているより傷が深かったらいけない。
知らなかった。この島には病院もあるのね。
ない。隣の島へ船で運ぶ。君は病院へ。私はこの島での出来事をうまく片付けないと。とばっちりで軍法会議者だ。
頼みがあるの。
どうして？
病院へ行って大使館に連絡が行けば私はやがて本国へ送還されるわ。
I don't want to go back home, Zay.
そしてきっとあれこれと尋問を受けるんだわ。私はママを見殺しにした奴らを自分の祖国とは認めないの。もう私の帰るべき祖国はないの。ここが私の終点だからもう私はどこへも行きたくないの。私に優しくしてくれたアンジェロ少尉もルーベンスもみんな死んでしまった。
だから君までここで死ぬと？イタリア女はヤワじゃないんだろ？生きるんだ。
ねえ金蔵、生きるってどういう意味？あなたが教えてくれたはずよ。生きるってのはただ息をすることじゃないわ。私はイタリアへ帰りたくないの。
ビーチェ。
あなたは私と出会うまで死んでいたと言ってくれたわ。でもそれは私も同じなの。潜水艦の中で私は死んでいた。祖国も滅びママも死んだ。パパもね。私はこんな船沈んでしまえと願ったわ。だからここにたどり着いた時実は死に損ねたとがっかりした。その矢先よ。少尉が英語がわかる者はいるかと騒ぎ出したの。
When Kinzo met Beatrice, he finally forgot about dying. And when Beatrice met Kinzo, she also forgot about dying.
私は祖国もあなたにさらってほしいと願うの。
ピーチェ。
でもそれは叶えられない望みだとも分かってる。ならばせめて迎えの船が来るまでの数日間をあなたと一緒にいたいの。 胸の痛みなんて気にしない。だって向かいの船に連れ去られたら私はもう死んでしまうのだから。
Beatrice spoke this, smiling softly. She did her best to hide the pain in her chest.
お願い、金蔵。迎えが来るまでの数日間でいいから私をさらって。
その願いは叶えられない。
Oh? Looking apologetic, Kinzo lifted Bito up and gently sat her in the boat. Okay.
育児なし。やっぱり日本の男は軟弱だわ。
そうだな。私は育児なしだ。だから君の願いは片方しか叶えられない。
With a clunk, he placed it, wrapped in a jacket, in the boat.
片方とは？
What's it?
迎えが来るまでの数日間でいいからの方は叶えられないということさ。
え、どういう意味？
君をさらう、そっちを叶えることにした。
金蔵。
There has to be a doctor on Najima. I'm wearing a navy uniform. I should be able to pass myself off as a survivor of a boat carrying a VIP that was sunk by enemy ships. If the doctor happens to be of the greedy sort, all the better. After all, I have right here the golden magic to make people do what I say. Ah, he's bringing a gold bar. Okie dokie. A witch from a distant country took my lifeless body and gave me a soul. A woman came to me with the gold and revived me with her magic.
君は
Sure.
魔女だ。黄金の魔女だ。
That's the story, and that's what we're sticking with, gal.
ええ、黄金の魔女よ。
So that's where the name comes from. What about Endless? Where does that come from now, I wonder?
みんなと同じ
I
レ
mean,
シ
it's
ピ
pretty
で作っ
obvious
て
if
る
you
の
think
に
about it, but anyway.
私だけがパスタから消し炭を生み出す錬金術が使えるの。あなたと同じく私もあなたがいてくれる限り生きることを許される屍。あなたがいなくなったら私はすぐにでも死んでしまう。
死なせない。
本当に？
絶対に。
取ってね、責任。だってあなたは私をさらったんだから。
Aww. Ain't that so adorbs? I'm gonna puke.
そうですか。金蔵さんがそこまで話しましたか。
ではまさかあなたなのですか？おじい様がベアトリーチェを連れて行った新島の医者というのは。
I mean, obviously.
驚くに値しねえ。新島の医者って時点でピンとくる。
I know, right? Damn.
突然海軍の兵隊さんが外国人の女性を連れて現れたのです。驚きましたとも。しかもその上軍機なので秘密で治療しろというのです。
それがおじい様との初対面だったのですか？
そうです。それが金蔵さんと初めての対面でした。
黄金で言いなりになった欲深な医者ってのもお前のことなのか。
これは手厳しいですな。
But yes. Give me the money, baby.
突然
Come
外
on.
国人の女性患者を連れ込み軍機だから秘密にせよと言い、治療代は必ず持ってくるから担保にと言って黄金のインゴットを差し出す相手ですぞ。
Oh, okay.
厄介事はごめんでした。しぶしぶとですとも。
確かにそれもそうですね。でも南條先生はベアトリーチェをかくまってくれたんですね。
金蔵さんほどではありませんが、私にも英語の心得がありました。
Ooh.
二人の会話を漏れ聞き、二人が決して厄介な何者かでないと確信したからです。
Oh, okay.
もちろんインゴットに目がくらまなかったといえば嘘が過ぎますがな。
Of course.
私も今よりは若かったものですから。
その後彼女は
しばらくの療養の後、後宮家の使いの方が来て小田原に移すとおっしゃいましてな。引き取られていきました。
おじい様が自分で迎えに行ったわけではないのですか。
金蔵がどう六軒島の事件を言い訳したにせよ、しばらくの間は自由には動けなかっただろうよ。
ですな。軍をごまかすのが金蔵さんの人生で一番の大勝負だったと言っておりましたな。
ベアトリーチェは小田原に行って、それから
使われていない別荘の一つにかくまったと聞いています。当時の金蔵さんにはもう家族がおられましたからな。そこはうまくやられたのでしょうな。
クワドリアン以前から二重生活はお手の物だったというわけだ。
何してるんですか。お尻におできでも。それからベアトリーチェはおじい様の保護で別荘でいつまでも。
That's right. That's right. I didn't comment on it. All right. Yeah, that's right. Even though I'm commenting on not comment. Oh, God damn it! Double entendre.
平穏につつましやかに暮らしたと聞きます。
Shut up.
それからしばらく経ってからでした。彼女に金蔵さんとは血のつながらない娘がいることを聞かされたのは。
Who? Wait, what? Excuse me?
その娘こそクワドリアンのベアトリーチ。
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it. Gotcha.
金蔵さんの前では気丈に振る舞われていたそうですが、お気の毒なことです。
まさか亡くなったんですか。
驚くな。金蔵はその娘を生まれ変わりと信じたんだぞ。心をないがしろにするんじゃねえ。推理は可能だ。
そうですね。失礼。
私は金蔵さんが彼女と過ごされた小田原の数年間を知りません。
Damn. Learning all this? Like, holy crap. I'm loving episode 7 so far.
しかしその後の今日までの金蔵さんを見れば、ほんの数年間であっても彼がいかに彼女を深く愛したか伺い知ることができるでしょう。
Okay, so judging by the family tree and all that, that Beatrice would be his aunt, right? I hope we're not entering some sort of territory, if you know what I mean. Obviously not, because she died, but anyway. But then, Okay, this is getting actually very, very interesting. Alright, let's learn more, shall we?
そうですね。
そしてその娘のためにクワドリアンを作ったというわけか。
金蔵さんは潜水艦の黄金を元手に巧みに立ち回り、たちまちのうちに財産を築き上げていきました。また持ち前の英語力を生かし GHQ に強いコネクションを作ってみるみるうちに大富豪となられたのです。この辺はリオンさんに説明する必要はありますまい。
ええ、その莫大な財産で六軒島を買い取り屋敷を建てます。小田原の親族たちは無人島を丸ごと買い取ったおじい様を酔狂だと笑ったそうです。
10トンの黄金がポケットに収まる大きさだったなら金蔵も島を買わなかったろうよ。
He hid the gold somewhere in Rokkenjima, built up a fortune with the ingots he'd taken out of it, and then bought up the whole treasure island.
ですな。そして後宮家の黄金伝説が始まるのです。
インゴットには片翼のワシが刻印されていたと聞くが。
片翼のワシというよりは片翼に見えてしまうワシというべきでしょうな。
それはどういう意味ですか？
ヨーロッパに多いでしょう。翼を広げたワシを紋章にしたものは。
So it's paying homage to her family, I believe.
サロ共和国の国旗にもワシが、いやいや、鷹でしたかな。
Or that,
が
whichever.
刻まれています。
刻印が薄かった。
Okay, cool.
あるいは粗雑だったということか。
そうです。戦時下の粗雑な刻印でした。本来は翼を広げたワシの紋章が刻印されるべきだったのでしょう。
But only half. Yeah, okay.
それがちょうど斜めに立ち
I mean,
切った
that's
よう
pretty
に
cool.
半分薄れて消えていたのです。
Okay. That's a new thing we learned there. That's cool.
翼を広げたワシが半分消えて、それが片翼のワシに見えた。
金蔵は自分の運命を大きく変えたベアトリーチェの黄金に片翼のワシを見て、それを自分の紋章とすることを決めたに違いあるまい。
果たして正しく刻印されていたなら、それは共和国旗の鷹だったのか。
Okay. I got the full picture now.
それともまさか相当の。いやいや、そんなまさか。あの莫大な黄金の山の前で金蔵さんと杯を傾け合いながら黄金ロマンで夜を明かすのはなかなかに楽しいことでした。もっとも金蔵さんはその刻印から黄金の出所を探られることを嫌いましてな。外部に持ち出す黄金にはわざわざ自分の片翼のワシをデザインした別の刻印を打ち直していたようですが。
お前には見せるだけだったのか。金蔵もケチだな。
無論大富豪になった後、金蔵さんは再び私のもとへ訪れ、未払いだった治療費をしっかり払ってくれましたとも。治療費にはちと多すぎましたのでな。ちゃんとお釣りを払いましたが。
それ以来おじい様と交流を？
そうです。金蔵さんは私が秘密を守ってベアトリーチェをかくまったことをことのほか深く感謝してくれましてな。
おじい様はかつての小田原の親族たちは欲深の嘘つきばかりだとおっしゃっていました。南條先生の義理堅さが嬉しかったに違いありません。おじい様のような方が どうしてあなたにだけは心を開いたのかわかる気がします。
私にも多少の異国趣味とチェスの趣味がありましてな。金蔵さんとは以来意気を統合しまして、こうして細々と、しかし気づけば随分と長くお付き合いをさせてもらっています。
大きな金を扱うやつほど小さな金にもきっちりしてる。治療費以上をもらおうとしなかったあんたの律儀さに惹かれるところもあったんだろうよ。
とんでもない。大きなお金に怯えてしまっただけです。後になってから後悔しましたとも。どうにも昔から肝が小さいものでしてな。
そんなことはね。肝は十分に不定さ。
そうでしょうか。お世辞でも嬉しいですな。
政治じゃねえ。
For at least 1 whole year after Kinzo's death, Nanjo had taken part in hiding the secret of that death. Of course, Natsui must have given him some hush money. Still, there could be no doubt that he'd had enough guts to withstand pressure from Kinzo's children for a long time, without slipping up once.
大した肝っ玉じゃねえか。義理がたいのがお前の性分なんだろうよ。
それしか取り柄がないものでして。
おじい様は良い友人に恵まれたと思います。
That's where you're ending it? Alright. That was a little weird. Okay. Yeah, that was that chapter. We got a lot of info and good moments in there. I actually loved that chapter very much. And I hope all of you did as well. If you did, of course, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because there will be more Umineko coming soon. Not now, Leon. Not now. Actually, let me check real quick to see if there's anything new. I highly doubt there is, but you never know, right? Let's see here. No, she didn't appear at all, so why would it change now? Nope. Alright then. What about tips? Nope. Okay, well, I guess that's a big old fat nope. Alright. Again, hopefully you all enjoyed it. I did. That was actually pretty cool. We got some info there and some lore. Actually, I should actually say that. Not info, but yeah, that was actually pretty cool. I like that. I don't know what's going to come next, but hopefully it's pretty good too. So stick around. Hope to see you next time. And until then, as a reminder, please stay sinful, folks.